one. If I just count down the live stream, don't fret. This is Bustin' Balls, Rich Rivera, the manager, president, CEO, co-founder of the Ballbusters softball team of Staten Island. If you're listening in on Twitch, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your Wednesday night, to be honest, because this is a Staten Island softball team that's just using this for Instagram content. We have our general manager to your right. Yeah, to the right hand of your screen right there. It's general manager CJ Tucker. He is on with us here on Twitch TV and Bustin' Balls. CJ, what's going on, sir?
What's up, Rich?
All right.
Right.
CJ is on his iPhone. That's why he's all boxed in there. But that's okay, because guess what? Bustin' Balls, it's in the title. There's no formalities here. We're just shooting the shit. We're drinking. We're talking softball with the guys who made this thing possible right here. That's a 2017 title. The 2021 championship hasn't come in the mail yet. But CJ is a huge part of this 2021 success and the 17 success. But let's focus on 2021, my man. If you had to sum up the fall 2021 season in just one word, what would it be?
Unbelievable. I would have to say, I've played softball for a long time. This has to be one of, if not my favorite team I've ever been a part of. Just the general camaraderie and the friendship that was created through this season was like I've never experienced before. And that's something that I think as a team is special. Mm-hmm. The moment that counts, and we ran right through it. We knew in the beginning if we had everybody there, we were going to win this championship. And look what we did.
We were very confident. Confident to the point where CJ over here, from the very beginning of the season, was like, we had just added Joe Tess and Christian. And this guy goes, Rich, to be honest with you, man, we're not going to lose a game this year. We're going to go undefeated. We're going to win every single game. And I was like, listen, we could have a couple New York Yankees on this team, and we're not going to win every single game. But he was confident, and the confidence paid off at the end of the day. We only lost 5 games in total, but we won 15, and that 15 got us the championship that we wanted. And CJ, a huge part of it. And I got to give CJ credit. A couple seasons ago, and CJ will admit to it himself, when it came down to availability, CJ was tough with the job and a bunch of things happened. Things happen in life, obviously. And there were games that I remember, oh my God, like we really needed CJ there. We needed his presence in the lineup. We needed him at third base, and he wasn't there. So there was that at the beginning of 2021, it was like, all right, well, we're going to play as if, listen, we know if CJ is going to be there, great. If he's not, we'll have to adjust. You were fucking there. And not only you were there in a big way. And you stepped into a role. I mean, obviously it's self-proclaimed, but I can almost tag you as our assistant to the main general manager of this team, who's been responsible to getting some of the big guys that were a part of that fall championship team. So how do you, in a few words, like, how do you sum up that evolution of where you were as just a player who might be there, might not be there, to being an important part of the team where you're responsible for bringing people here?
In a few words, it's difficult. It's more of like, back when I was unavailable, I was almost taking work, and anybody would, as opposed to availability and saving and doing life things. And you need, you got to work, and we understand that. Your family, everybody's a family person. What you got to do is what you got to do. But back then, I was taking whatever I can get. Now I had a little bit more of a lenient schedule. I was doing good, and this year, back where I was, I decided this year to, take more. Once I knew that we had players that like to play ball, and we're gonna, it was a well-rounded team. It was almost like I was okay with taking a leadership role, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. And it helped me out in a big way, because I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed helping out. I enjoyed being in it more than I did, because I would just show up and play and then really not kind of give a shit. It was just like, you just showed up. But to make a team, to help make a team, and then to help make a championship team, it's something that, makes you happy.
It does. And when it pays off with a championship, it doesn't matter what move or moves you make, it paid off. That's the thing. Again, we're only using this for recording purposes, so I'm just going to cut in here. I got to send the link out to Mr. Jonathan, who should be joining us shortly. So I just saw your message going to Instagram there. All right. Well,
throwing on my headphones. My bad.
No, you're good. Take your time. Again, we're shooting the shit. No formalities. Corey knows a thing or two about this because when I did my podcast on Twitch, and we'll get Corey on for a little bit for this one. But hey, Corey,
there he is.
We had Corey on for the podcast. It would just be there would be so much planning into each of those shows, and it'd be 10 to 15 minutes of all right. Here's audio check. All right, this is what we're gonna do at this time. This is what I'm gonna do at this time. Now, this is not what Bustin' Balls is about. Bustin' Balls is just we're kicking it back. We're enjoying a good brew. We're talking softball. And we're doing it in January, like crazy motherfuckers. But we're doing it now.
No, but this is the excitement. This is the excitement. The new year has turned the corner. Well, we're almost done. We're almost done with January, if not halfway, right?
Well, Corey mentioned in the pre-record before how
that
you get to that point of the year where it's like, oh, you get reinvigorated. That March time of year, that ultimately got Corey back into like, oh, I got to play mode. But I'll mention something. I'll mention exactly what Corey made. And Corey, we're going to do this again with you. So, bear in mind. But I love what you mentioned that the 2020 year as a whole kind of got people back into, doing this. Like for me too, like on a personal note, I wasn't sure if I wanted to play softball again. I was at a different stage of my life. I was with a different person. I was doing different things. It just wasn't a thing that was on the top of my mind. And then 2020 happened. And I was just sitting there like middle of summer, just on PlayStation with Corey and John. And we were just bullshit about the good times at softball. I'm like, God damn, man, I want that again. I just need that again. Even if it's just one season, it's one good season. Like I just need that, before I climb into this thing called life. And we had that one good season, and now it's looking like we might have more than one good season with this team that we're putting together, and we're very excited for it.
Yep, 100%. That's it.
Absolutely.
And it was something about that COVID year, man. And for everyone, it's all different reasons. I know you mentioned you were in a different stage of my life. I know me with my shoulder injury, I couldn't throw a softball more than 30 yards, 30 feet, forget about yards, 30 feet. I couldn't throw a softball. Everyone had their different reasons. Who's out of work? Who couldn't do this? 2021, it just brought everyone back. It just revitalized everyone, I feel like. And it was fun. It was a fun year of softball, and not even softball too. What I love about this team, which we started briefly in the summer, but we took it to full swing in the fall. Even post-game beers, just chilling on the side in a parking lot or on the sidelines.
That was great.
Oh yeah,
that was fucking phenomenal.
It's shit like that where like you're building more of the camaraderie. Because granted, you're playing for an hour and 15 minutes on the field per game. Sure, that's great. But it's really when you're just chilling afterwards. We had a couple of Griff's trips afterwards. That's where you build the connection, and that's where it gets fun. And that's what everyone starts chooching right now. We're the king of chooches, this team. So
absolutely,
it's just awesome. And
again, we're just shooting the shit here. There's no real structure to this whole thing. Again, just kind of using this to grab audio. But here's Peter.
Oh.
All right, let's see here what's going on with Peter's audio. I think he's on mute. I got you here, Pete. I think I got you. Can't unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected. That's what I'm getting.
The audio is all. I can't even hear you guys.
Oh, you're good now. You're good now. I hear you.
You're good now.
Yeah, I don't know what you did, but you did good. All right, it's working. All right,
hold on.
We got Peter as well.
He can't hear us, but we could hear him.
Oh,
he can't hear us?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's like super deep and slow voices.
Well, when you put your name in,
hold on.
It asks like if you got to access like the mic or whatever, something like that. So maybe maybe
do not turn this off unless you have a high quality microphone and are aware. Do not turn this off. Do not turn this off unless you have a high quality microphone and are wearing headphones or don't have any guests. The settings enabled audio. Is there any echo? You guys hear any echo before?
Good on my end.
No echo? Okay.
Fine with me.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. All right. Pete's trying again. Let's see if we can get him. Pete?
This is so much better. Yeah.
I can hear the great protector.
Yeah.
You have
I got him with me.
You have
He's got the dragon. He's got the dragon.
Perfect. Love it. Well,
The
Pete,
great protector.
thanks for joining. Again, we're live on Twitch, but there's no formal bullshit here. All I'm doing is we're doing like quick one-on-ones, and we're just getting like I'm just trying to get like 1 minute of good audio, and that's it. That's all I need.
Got you.
So, CJ, we did a good run through, but obviously feel free to stay put. Corey, I'm gonna turn it to you. So CJ and Pete, I'm gonna throw you guys backstage again, and then I'll get you back
Okay.
on right after. So Corey, we'll do like a couple minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, sweet. Let's do that. So Pete, you're still here. Pete, you can probably hear me, so you're good. CJ, you're still here. You can hear me. Good. All right, Corey, let me get your ticker up. Yeah, I did. I had to do complete tickets for everybody.
Yeah, that's
Stat lines, accomplishments. But we are here with the voted team player of the year for fall 2021. Corey Favs in the first year that we ever did team awards. I mean, 2021 was a first for a lot of things. First Instagram page, social media. There was a lot of firsts. And there wasn't a first in the fall because it was our second championship. Corey, your fourth Samson title in total. Should get you into the Hall of Fame if Samson ever had one, I would say. But Corey, in a few short words, how do you sum up that 2021 fall team?
Gratifying. It just felt so good because we went out there going back to the summer. Even it was a team that on paper we thought had a shot to win the championship, and it was a good team. And what happened? We got bounced in the first round by the last place team. So shit happens.
Pete's Rangers.
Pete's Rangers. Yep. And it's crazy how that season worked out. So obviously it was like a balloon popped that season. But then you come to the fall season, and on paper, it was a better team. We had a lot of new additions, but guys who we knew were good at softball. Some guys that we may have not known before, but had very good reputation coming in. So we had high expectations, and we delivered on the expectations. And I feel like we finished third in the regular season and first. And I think that it makes it even better. It's because you're going in there and you're not the 1 seed. And to go out there and win it all, it's just so gratifying to get the job done. We went out there on a mission and we accomplished it. It was awesome.
And very similar to our 2017 campaign where we went in as a second place team. So both finishes, we didn't go in as the first place team, which kind of goes to a point that I was making all year last year. It doesn't fucking matter what you do during the regular season, guys.
Nope.
Yes, obviously I want to win every fucking game. I do, but it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
We went in with a different confidence in that fall 2021 postseason. We knew that we were the favorites, no matter what the record said. We knew that our team, pound for pound, when we had our guys there, was better than every other team there, and it paid off. And it was a great season. But let's talk about you for a second, Corey. Obviously, we mentioned before how you came so close from not playing at all, and asked me at the beginning of the year. This is in the spring, before the spring of 2021. Hey, Rich, would love to come back, even if it's in a limited role. I'll third base coach. You were going to take Julio's job. He was not going to be happy with that, but you were ready to take it. But you were already you wanted to join in, but you just I don't know if it was a shake of confidence thing, or it's just because of the arm injury and you just weren't sure what was going to be there after a couple of years of not playing. And I was like, listen, there's going to be a job out there. And there was a job out there for Corey Favs, a job that you haven't had for a while. And that was on the mound. And it was great to see you back on the hill in 2021.
No, it felt great to be back on the mound. And just coming back, for the viewers who didn't know and the teammates who might not have known, back in the 2019 summer season, blew out my shoulder in pregame warmups of all things. Played left field that game, first play of the game. Guys rounding first, going to stretch to second. Any normal day, he was dead to rights at second base. I go to make the throw, completely gives out. Guy ends up going to third because the ball took 20 hops to the shortstop. And then played second base or DH the rest of that year. But and throughout all of 2020, Mike still felt the shoulder injury. Played flag football every winter since 2018. And I still felt it in flag. Luckily in flag, I would only feel it if I went to pull the flag the wrong way, but I didn't have to make the throwing motion. So I didn't know where I could even play anymore because outfield is the position that I played probably 90% of my games in my time playing softball. I have pitched before, but never but primarily outfield. And I didn't know what to expect from my arm. Sure, I played a little second base, I played catcher, but outfield was my spot. So between that, kind of losing interest of softball at the same time, but something about that full year off, getting through the winter, and the hype, especially for this year with MLB also, because we had the crazy year in 2020 MLB.
Right, of course.
So just the buildup of everything coming back, MLB, softball, talking with you guys, John, Matt, all the chooches on the fucking PlayStation. It just said, you know what? I want to fucking go back and do this with my boys. And it was fucking fun. And I'm glad I did it because the summer season was fun, and that made me want to play in the fall. But the fall season was fucking gratifying.
Yes, absolutely. And with the storybook ending, and speaking of, we have to talk about that game 3 of the championship series. Obviously, the clincher, but I gotta get a couple of comments on the performance Chris had, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But Chris Piazza, who we just retired as number 26, first ever in franchise history that we retired a number 26, which I don't think was ever worn by anybody else or would ever be. It's like 26 is like one of those random numbers, like, okay. But we retired it anyway because this guy pitched the most innings in the history of the franchise, dating back to the Lumberjack days. But here he is stating that this was going to be his last year. He was moving on to Jersey. He was ready to do other things. He was stated from the beginning of the year. He stated it again prior to the championship round. At that point, had not made an appearance during the postseason because we were riding the coattails of James Kelly, our Cy Young, our postseason Cy Young, who I'm sure we're going to talk to in the next few days or so. But there was not a guarantee that Chris was going to enter that championship series. And we went to a game 3 and we had almost no choice but to say, hey, we got to go with a different guy. We went with Chris. Chris had the performance of a lifetime and earned that championship for this team. So as a guy who's going to be taking the bump, possibly as the replacement to Chris in 2022, what do you got to say about your predecessor, Chris Piazza?
Listen, it's a big thing to live up to because Chris, I've played with Chris for several years, several championships with him. And the guy is, I want to say, if one word to describe Chris, I would say consistency. He's very consistent. He's a guy who generally he's going to have the location of the plate. He's not going to strike out the side every inning, but he's a guy who's going to go out there and get the job done. He's very consistent. And ironically, the way he went out, it was not consistent with the way he was because he was dominant in that last game. Chris was the type of guy who held down the fort. He would get you your wins, and he got us a championship several years back, but he was dominant in that game 3, baby. And listen, he's a guy, I wish if I was going to pitch another 10 years, I hope I have the success as Chris did. That's the guy who won a lot of games for us. He played on some really bad teams and some really good teams, but he was very consistent. And that's all you can ask for in men's softball. Just be consistent. Just go out there, do your job, and have fun.
And that's what he was all about. And being the guy that caught him for most of those games over those last 9 years, consistency is the best way to describe him. He's a guy that if I put the glove in a certain spot, 9 times out of, I would say even higher, 9.8 times out of 10, he's hitting that spot every single time. You knew what you were going to get out of him. And it was such a great moment to see him achieve what he did, not knowing if there was going to be a guaranteed game for him to get into. And he got in at the right game, won on the right. And even if he considered not retiring, how the fuck do you come back after a game like that? How have you come back?
Listen, when you're making a movie plot, especially a sports movie plot, that's how all the movies end. And it actually happened in real life. It's like if you're a batter, you always dream that you're going to end your career on a walk-off home run or grand slam in the World Series. And what Chris did was the pitching equivalence of that. I mean, he shut the first place team down. And again, I got to give a ton of credit to the guys behind him. The defense played phenomenal in that third game. So it was a great performance all around and just awesome to be a part of. And just watching him.
Did I lose you? Did I lose Corey? Oh, shit, I lost Corey. Oh, my God. That's not good. We don't want that. Right in the middle of his quote. Or could it be me? It might be me.